have picked up here, Alex?
Yeah, sure thing. So on the hard random side of things, we've already seen the Syndra and Gnar band away, exactly the same bands that we've seen previously. And you're already highlighting before, you were saying, are they going to change bands after such a such kind of instrumental loss? And it looks to be the only ban we're going to see. I said it before, and it's happened. We have seen Graves banned away, and Ritix has probably got a big smirk on his face as he's managed to force that ban with his play on Graves in Game 1. Over on the other side of things, though, no changes to be heard of from the BPI side of things. They've banned away LeBlanc, Irelia, and Pantheon, and those are 3 targeted bans that they are quite happy to stick to.
Interesting to see them actually hovering over Janna right now. I was expecting maybe a Jarvan, because that was one thing that was so instrumental in their composition last time.
Yeah.
But maybe they would change things up, not really commit to something just yet here. Galio, not really going to even bother looking at that one.
Not
because
even pretend.
I'm not going to say there's no way, but I do not expect that ever to be picked up here for this. But, you know, BPI, they look so strong. Ridix, I want to say they still could have won with under 80 carry, but because he got so fed, because of Naz's teleporting bottom lane and giving him that feed, he was able to snowball the game as that caster AD carry. So I'm curious to see what he's going to go for this time. Maybe a Corki. We have seen him playing Vayne and Tristan as well in their round of 32 games. So anything's really up in the air right now.
Yeah, I think Vayne is the one that I've kind of got in the back of my mind. I know BPI favored that actually
I like
way,
a good
way
Vayne.
back. Yeah. I think, and a good Vayne especially, we know how skilled Ritix is already. I feel like the Graves ban, I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily worth it. I don't feel that Ritix got ahead because he was so instrumental in lane and they got 2 early kills and nothing like that. It was because of the fantastic support from Lissandra. And I feel like perhaps banning out that Lissandra presence in the top lane would have made more sense. But regardless...
It's true. I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe they have a plan for it this time.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe that's why they left it open. But they also left Xerath open. They left that potential combo to go yet again. But we do see Orianna picked up here. We do see on the other side, though, Janna and Jarvan. So we will have Juke-Chan finally on Jarvan now for this one. Remember, Juke-Chan plays a lot of different things. He's played Jarvan the first game in the round of 32. He played Lee Sin and Olaf as well. So he has a large selection of champions he can go for.
It just every time I hear that, I'm like, whoa, what?
He's so much fun. He really is. And it looks like he'll be going for Jarvan this time.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see how is he going to use this to combo anything. And I'm expecting maybe a vibe pick from BPI to go with the Orianna. They need some sort of delivery system for that ball.
Yeah, you're right, they do. And I don't think we're going to be seeing a Malphite top like we did yesterday. And I don't...
Sorry.
I don't know what's going to be that for, like kind of that source of the shockwave delivery. And you're right. Look at this.
Nailed it.
Jason Kaplan, ladies and gentlemen, is in the building with his predictions. Calls in the vibe pick straight up. And yeah, and it's looking pretty strong. Supported by that Nami support, of course, as well in that bot lane. We don't know the AD carry yet, but we know that Ritix was quite nicely sustained by Masterwork on Nami previously.
See, okay, so when you have a Vi and an Orianna like this, you have that delivery system, and a Nami on top of that, you have chain CC for a long time onto one, potentially more targets, right? So if you're on the other side for hard random, I really hope they're not going to go for Swain because they need 3 big damage dealers for this. They can't afford to run like a tanky top lane, a tanky jungler, and then only depend on your mid and AD carry to do the damage. Yeah, you're up against a Wombo combo, but if the Vi combos in onto your AD carry or your squishy mid lane, then you're going to lose out on a big hefty amount of your damage. So I'm really hoping that Swain doesn't get picked up. But if they do go for it, let's kind of look at the other side of this. If they do go for it, they have the Cataclysm as well. So the Cataclysm and Swain's W fit like almost perfectly within each other.
Like the perfect size.
Yeah, so you lock down everyone inside of that, so that provides a lot of AoE damage. And that does allow Zed, well, if they're not going for Swain anymore, as I say, it could allow Zed to get a lot of free damage in. But they do switch it up. They do learn from their mistakes, not going for Swain this time, and I honestly like that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right in not wanting Smurf to be playing Swain in that top lane. And we said it before, and we're going to say it again. Lissandra not banned away. We feel like it was, such a big deal for the...
it's even bigger now.
What, because of this ball delivery system?
Yes, because of this combo. No, not the claw. It's this. You have Vi go in, pull the whole team together. And remember we saw the Graves and the Lissandra combo?
No, and Lissandra
it's that again, but now Lissandra gets so much free damage across the shockwave enemies. And Tristana, I mean, not going to jump in, but you get so much free time in the back. Like, you need a good team on hard random side to dive in the backside, and they need to pick an AP top laner, an AP tanky top laner like Lissandra that was taken away just now, to really have that mixed kind of damage you're going to need against this other team. But right now, you can build just a lot of armor and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I mean, they've got the Corki, got the Zed. There's a lot of big, huge AD presence already on the hard random side. And I think if they were to, surely, they're hovering over Jax, that is another AD pick, and I don't think that would be...
He's a lot like Corki. Like, he still has a lot of magic damage because his third proc of his ultimate
is AP.
AP. But it's not like a secure source of damage, right?
Yeah, he's still taking his Triforce. He's still going that kind of AD, AP, Sheen route. And Actually, that makes a lot more sense. Seeing the casting hovered over, that's an alternative that would go pretty well up against Lissandra in that top lane as well. And
would it be Lissandra or Zed? I'm just mentally trying to think out the whole
that's
combo goes,
I
right?
think it's flexible. I think
it is flexible. But I think you're right with Kassadin. Yeah. I'm just worried that if he gets ganked pre-6, he's going to have a really bad time. I think he's just going to be killed really quickly with a Vi and a Lissandra. Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're going to put him there or not.
No, they are. Smurf has been picking up that casting. Kira is going to be rocking the Zed in the mid lane in contrast to that Jace in game 1. And it felt like Kira had very strong mechanics. It felt like he was very swift with his movement. We were really liking the way he was dodging the Xerath skill shots in game 1. And so seeing him on Zed's going to be pretty fun to watch. And it should, I mean, seeing him up against Orianna, we're going to be interesting to see if Leal is forced to kind of start maxing his shield first. I know that some Oriannas prefer that up against the Zed, as it can be a little too much damage early on with the poke from the Shuriken and general just Zed presence early. So interesting to see how that matchup plays out. In the bot lane, of course, you said Vayne or Tristana. What have we got? We've got a Tristana.
And I'm just trying to think about how this is going to work out for him. I mean, Tristana Corki, like Corki's a really good counter Tristana early on because you put out so much more damage than Trist can. But again, you're back to the sustain, no sing kind of lane. Yeah. And it's not really about the laning phase anymore for this team. For BPI, laning phase is going to be nice, but where they're really going to shine is that mid game with that double AP composition. They want to get their whole Wombo combo down. And if they hit it perfectly, like in an ideal world, if they hit their whole combo perfectly, it's going to demolish the other team. Like, yes. If you're going to pick a comp like this, I'm assuming you're strong and you are really good mechanically as a team to pull it off. But just imagine the ball delivery system pulling 5 people together and Lissandra ulting across this. Like, Lissandra can ult and then snare them all and lock them even down for even longer while Tristana is just hammering away from you from the backside.
Yeah, it does seem like a very strong combination. Of course, every time you see that Orianna, you do start piecing together these amazing like ball delivery, shockwave combinations, and that is something that is an element, of course, but that's one strategy, that's one move. And BPI, they had a lot of kind of instances in that previous one where because of their advantage that they built up, they were winning these skirmishes where they perhaps got caught out or caught with their pants down a little bit. And with this current selection of champions, they can't afford to be caught out. If they get caught out, if they lose their Tristana, or if their Nami goes low, this whole kind of combination involving almost all 5 of their members falls apart. It crumbles, and it's all about not making mistakes, I feel.
And hard random, they remind me of like Fnatic a little bit for some reason right now. The whole like double assassination. It used to be was it Xpeke and Soaz used to roam around together and just kill people over and over again back in season 3. At Kassadin and Zed, if they chase you, like, you're not going to escape that. You can't run away from Kassadin that easily, period. But then the Zed's pure damage that he can do, plus Kassadin's chase potential, means they can pick off one person really quickly. So if hard random, to me, if they want to have a chance in this game, they need to get going early on.
Right, well, let's jump straight on into the Rift then, as we go into game 2 of this best of 3 to see if BPI can wrap it up in 2 or if HR can battle it on to take it into a 3rd.
All right, guys, remember, right now, BPI over on that blue side, hard random over on the red side, and we should introduce the players for you if you're not too familiar with them, which you should be. On the side of BPI, we do have Nasus, Crimson, Leal, Riddix, and Masterwork. And Alex, why don't you walk us through hard random side?
Hard random Smurf. We saw him on Swain before, but this time rocking cast in that top lane. Jukechan in the jungle, Kira in the mid lane, and One Shot the sub filling in for Realix, and Demonko in that bot lane supporting him. And of course, he's the reason he's substituting, I don't know if you guys are filled in at home, but actually the main AD carry for hard random is actually unfortunately in the hospital, and One Shot has stepped in his place. And if you're wondering how it's all going to work with the advancing through this bracket, actually, if they do advance, if hard random do proceed into the semi-finals, One Shot will be going with them. They can't bring the AD carry back in now.
And, I mean, that'll give them a little bit of time to work on anything that they're kind of lacking right now. I mean, if we think about, again, how Game 1 really started, One Shot, he had a strong early game. He came out of the gates running. He really did. He tried to even like 1v2 a little bit in there on the Riddix, but unfortunately he couldn't really match up against that sustain that Masterwork was able to do. So he kind of fell behind, and he got punished over and over again in that game.
Yeah, he did. He kind of had a lot of issues. Kind of staying in the game early, we felt like he had quite a strong presence, and as the game progressed, we just saw the power of Rittix come through. And we talk about late game, mid game. Rittix on Tristana now, an AD carry who is widely considered very, very strong in that late game, even the mid game, once she's got a couple of items. And so, interesting to see how that one is going to play out.
Yeah, really cool to see how this one's going to go. I mean, this is a little bit of a different comp out of BPI. This is more team fight oriented. Actually, no, it's not that different. It's really similar to their first team. So I correct myself there. But this is going to be much more difficult to pull off.
Yeah, and I mean, I was talking about the damage that Zed can put out early. You can see already Lael is putting on a great deal of damage and pressure onto Kira in that mid lane.
And we should point out we have a lane swap coming in here. So we have one Shotic and Demonko going top side. So this is their answer to deal with Lissandra. Because I was wondering, the Kassadin, you know, he's not going to have an easy time up against this Lissandra in terms of like range battle. But they do switch things up. And look at this, Smurf going to be sticking with Juke-Chan here, going for an invade on the blue buff. And Janna, I think Demonko's going to put a little bit of a deep ward in maybe, or just give him a little bit of vision towards the side. And you can see right now Crimson on the bottom side of your screen. He's not really in a position to even take this blue.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's really willing to. The TP coming in to just from, I believe it was... Where is
he hasn't taken a buff yet.
Yep, Smurf making his way to the bot lane to try and battle out in that bottom lane. And we'll see as that one has kind of flattened out. You can see the blue buff did get snatched away. Crimson, oh sorry, Juke-Chan. I'm going to get confused now because Crimson was of course on Jarvan in game 1. Juke-Chan stealing that away from him in game 2. And Crimson falling back to that Vi.
He didn't get a single buff yet. He's just not getting his red buff. I think he was contested at blue, so he kind of was forced to fall back knowing he would lose it. And Juke-Chan's going to go ahead straight for his blue buff. So he's going to have a 3-buff start here. The real big difference though is now Smurf, bottom lane 1v2. This is going to be rough up against a Nami and a Tristana. He's going to have such a hard time farming. But luckily for him, you can see Nasus, he's nowhere even near top lane right now.
Yeah, Nasus is just being forced to kind of babysit Crimson, get him through this early stages of jungling, especially considering the power that Juke-Chan's going to possess after that 3-buff start. He's going to be relevant. And look at this. They're making a move for that turret. They want to get that bottom turret down fast. It's kind of their answer to the Corki Janna in that top lane. And they're getting it down.
Is this season 3?
I feel like we've gone back in time.
This is like a season 3 thing, just to just completely 4-man group up and push a turret down. I mean, it's going to work out. They're going to get it. So they do like kind of free up a lane for themselves. But this also means Tristana won't get the ability to get a lot of free farm that she's going to need getting into that mid to late game. You know, Tristana, a very strong late game champion, not as strong early on here. But look at this. Juke coming in the mid lane looking for a gank.
Lael is low. She's got no mana. So low mobility as well. She's got the movement speed. That's pretty much it. The flash is forced and beautiful execution from Lael, managing to get away from that one with her life. Basically just applying pressure to Kira, making Kira kind of question whether he wanted to contribute to that gank. And it works out quite nicely. Now this 4-man BPI squad is making their move towards the mid lane, and they're probably going to try and repeat history in that bot lane, or from that bot lane.
I'm not sure if they can get this one, though. This is going to be a little bit tougher here. Zed off the side, Jarvan there to defend against it. In the meantime, Corki is just shoving top lane, one-shot trying to get the turret down himself here, and Smurf is getting free farm on the bottom lane. Look at the difference between the two top laners. 4-12. Smurf has 3 times the CS right now currently than his opponent, and Nasus, he needs to get some farm. Right now, he has no real opportunity to in the bottom lane, which means he is going to be not as powerful in the mid game as they would need him to be.
Yeah, and one disadvantage of them taking that early turret, yes, you have a slight gold lead, about 700 gold separating the two teams. But what that does mean is, I mean, now Smurf can freeze that lane so far up. He can safely farm. Smurf can get back into the CS, or sorry, I should say stay in the CS. He's on 18-4 of Nasus. And the fact that that can happen now is we've got a free farming Kassadin, and that could be a bit of risk versus reward. And I think that's really strong for Smurf.
Yeah, and he was trying to freeze a lane right there, but unfortunately there's just too many CS for him, minions there for him to do that. So Riddick is going to get the lane shoved in. Let's actually see. Did he take his rocket? He did take his E, so he has his explosive shot. So he will naturally shove the lane in, which is obviously free money here for Smurf now. But Nasus, again, look at the CS difference now. I mentioned it was like 4-12, 4-25.
Yeah, his Smurf has been really doing work trying to keep his Kassadin in the game. And he's almost, in fact, he's on par with his mid laner, which feels wrong considering he was initially helping them steal blue buff, then he TP'd bot lane. And I don't know where time has been, but Smurf managing to catch up so efficiently in that bot lane. And now he's got a Janna to keep him safe.
Yeah, so going for a little bit of a swap here. It's actually the AD carrying support bottom lane for BPI and the top lane support for Hard Random. And, you know, Smurf, he's about to hit that critical point where he's level 6, and he's going to have the ability to just leap around really quickly. Riddick's trying to go in. Oh. Rocket jump going to be interrupted, it seems. Nice little tornado coming out of John right there. In the meantime, top lane turret was taken here in favor of Hard Random. So all tied up now, 6.5 minutes in terms of turrets. A 400 gold difference, though, between the two teams.
Yeah, and jungle items have been acquired. We have a Stalker's Blade over on the side for Juke-Chan and a Ranger's Trailblazer for Crimson. So 2 different items, 2 different kind of styles to jungling. And, I mean, no surprises there. Vine doesn't really have an issue when it comes to closing gaps. Jarvan slightly more so. And so with the ability to slow his enemies, 50% movement speed, it's pretty efficient for Juke-Chan to pick that one up. I'm pretty sure he went the same way with his Lee Sin. I think it's an item he just really kind of favors. And interesting to see now the level 6 Zed is trying to apply pressure to the level 5 Orianna. Not going to happen though, Crimson's there to back him up, but look at the damage Kira can put out. He's got 3 longswords. He's going for that strong early game, and it's looking pretty scary.
Oh, he's very scary right now, and Masterwork might get caught out a little bit here, but this is the real part that I'm looking at. Nasus up top lane against Smurf, level 4 to level 5, and Smurf is so close to level 6, and all he needs to do is just kill a couple more minions, and then have the opportunity to just hop right on top of him and do some really good damage.
Yeah, he's just trying to kind of whittle down the health HP bar of Nasus to level this one out, and the wave's going to be pushing in favor of Smurf at this stage. Nasus forced to go back, doesn't want to kind of, I say overextend, he's still very much on his side of the map, but regardless, we do have a little bit of a support battle. We saw Dimko and Masterwork clashing heads in game 1, and it seems to be kind of a repeating affair. This time though, one shot, the man who's been free farming the top lane has made an appearance in bot lane, and look at the damage he's putting out. The exhaust is forced, and Masterwork getting away with just a millimeter of health.
Yeah, that was a really questionable engagement by him to just go head-to-head like that, but either way, he's still alive. That's the most important thing. And look at this, Juke-Chan, he's looking for the gank mid lane. He knows Leo has no flash. This is going to be the death of him if he just gets one step too far. And here we go, Jarvan coming in.
This is going to be bad. He's got a shockwave, of course, and that's something that's going to keep him safe. And actually, gank is a bit of a pipe dream. They back away, don't want to take the risk. I feel like Kira could have risked it under the turret. He has his ultimate. He's got the mobility that his shadows provide. And he could have probably pushed Lael out of lane, instead opting to save it. Fancies his chances. I mean, he's got 30 AD from those longswords. In the meantime, that bot lane is getting pretty aggressive. You can see Ritix forced to flash away One-Shotic, and Demonko actually exhausting Ritix there. They went pretty ham, and you can see just a tiny bit of health bar remaining for Tristan. But he's sticking around in lane. He wants to keep this CS, I was about to say CS advantage. Actually, One-Shotic is pretty much exactly leveled, 73 to 75. And talking of CS, that mid lane discrepancy and top lane discrepancy are both going in favor of HR this time.
Yeah, it's getting really tough here now for BPI, but luckily for them, they're getting control of their own jungle. This is where Hard Random might just be, letting this momentum slip up a little bit, taking the foot off the gas, because at this point, you need to be aggressive. You need to continue to take jungle camps away when you already did it off the get-go, and just continue to build up this lead that they have in that mid and top lane. But, they're not keeping the wards. I mean, yeah, they have one here, but they're not even trying to contest it. Fortunately, Juke-Chan wasn't in the right position to even, bother going for that. And now he's actually behind in levels. Remember, he had a 3-buff start, and he's now level 5 up against a level 6 of Crimson. And this is where things get really tough. You have a level 6 Lissandra, level 6 Vi, and a level 7 Orianna. This is where the combos that we're looking for, the Wombo combos, to happen.
Yeah, this is what we were highlighting before. BPI, they were kind of in hibernation. They were relaxing, chilling, just getting to this level. And now they've reached their power level. They should be able to kind of demonstrate the power that they may possess into that late game. Of course, not initially. Nasus still falling very far behind in terms of gold. He only has 1,100 in contrast to nearly 3,000 that Smurf has picked up and accumulated with that 66 CS. He's got his Catalyst. He's going to be having about 1,000 in his bag as well. He's going to be heading back to probably pick up the Blasting One, go straight towards that Rod of Ages. And he's going to be even more deadly as he comes back from his shopping trip.
Yes, he will be, and he wants to continue to apply his pressure right now since he can't really be shoved out with that Catalyst, being done here. Well, on the side of Nasus, he hasn't been able to buy up just yet. He's at about 1,400 gold, so he can, work towards his Morellonomicon if that's the item he wants to go for, but he doesn't want to miss out much more, farm. He's already down 20, and that's just going to go further every time he leaves the lane.
Yeah.
Oh, Kira, he's
That's what I was
full
about
control.
to yeah, he is controlling this lane. He's been in this lane for so very long. You can see Vi's made an appearance, and Crimson's going for it. But the great ultimate from him evades the shockwave almost entirely. Still going to be forced to shadow away from that one. Crimson has no gap closers remaining. Didn't want to quite flash after him. He might have been able to take him down if he did. He did have his flash available, but opting not to. And Kira gets away to live another day.
If he didn't actually use the ultimate right there to dodge the ulti out of Crimson, that would have been the death of him, because Ignite would have come in. That must certainly have been a kill here, but look at Juke. Down bottom side, sitting on top of a ward here. Vi coming in from the top, Crimson looking for the counter kick here. Remember, he has no ultimate, and I feel like Hard Random should win this fight 3-on-3.
Should, woulda, coulda. One shot's going in. The bubble doesn't quite connect, though, and that's going to perhaps put a spanner in the works of this gang, because immediately the CS, I should say, minions are going to be starting to make a push and level out exactly in the center, but the vision has been revealed. Juke-Chan, the jig is up, and he's forced to back away as the minions started heading towards him. Yeah,
that's unfortunate for them, but they do waste some time. But he was feeding off of the experience that Crimson wasn't sitting in that river, so it's a little bit more advantage off of that. But either way, the game, after the exciting, really fast-paced start we had, it's really kind of calmed down here, and Juke-Chan actually might find himself in a really bad spot.
Juke-Chan potentially caught out here. It's going to be slowed beautiful flag and drag away, just evading everything from both the Vi and Nami. And I mean, turning my attention once again to Kira in that mid lane. He has 2,400 gold to spend. He has been sat on those 3 longswords for as long as I can remember, and it kind of blew my mind. Oh, what did we miss in that bot lane? Looks like we saw a flat exchange AK AD carry versus AD carry, and Ritix coming out on top.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that replay of that here in just a few seconds, just to see what went down. Again, guys, I'm the one observing, and I'm not the best of it, so I do apologize for any kills we do miss, but like I only missed one last game, and that was the only one I'm going to miss this game, hopefully. Either way, back to the game here before we do go to that replay. Really quickly, we do see Vi looking for a gank middle, but it looks like they're just going to back off, so let's go and hit that replay and show you exactly what went down for that first blood.
So let's just slow it down a little bit. I'm pretty sure it was just literally AD carry versus AD carry, auto attack versus auto attack, one shot favoring. It kind of favored him for a long time, but as soon as we saw the Valkyrie away, I think actually, was that the... That was the Tristana ultimate to finish him off, like an execution as he brings up the first blood. That's going to kind of tip the scales once again in the gold. Still only 300 gold separating the two teams.
And now BPI picking up the Dragon on top of that. Oh, nice timing by them as well, since they were able to push Juke Chan out of lane. And, you know, you mentioned the money that Kira's sitting on, 2,700. See, this I would love to have a pro player's opinion on, because I don't agree with this personally. The fact that you have that much money and you're not spending it. So I'll walk you through my mindset of that, right?
Yep, go.
So he could buy his Blade of the Rune King almost flat out right now. I'm pretty sure you could actually buy it flat out. With that, you have potential to 1v1 Lale and build up an advantage. Right now, sitting on the 3 longswords, yeah, you're building up levels. You're 1 level ahead, but you can't really 1v1 him without that purchase. So I mean, yeah, he's gonna have a giant power spike when we do get into it, as they do go in middle here on the Lale.
He was saving his ultimate for the Shockwave. Shockwave's being used. Lale knows it's all over. The TP's coming in though. Nasus fancying his chances. Doesn't quite connect the slow though. Opting to go for the grab on towards Kira. Uses his ultimate. The exhaust is there though to reduce some of the damage. And looks like a double kill coming in for the man with just 3 longswords. Kira picks up a double. And there's nothing that Crimson can say about it.
And now he's at 3,500 money here. And he's
God.
I don't even want to see what he's going to pick up when he goes back. He can afford so many different things. A Cutlass into a Brutalizer into a Last Whisper practically. Like, he is going to be such a big threat. And this is what we touched on, if you remember, before. If he can get going early on, then that's what they need. Like, that they need him to get strong early on to really be a big powerhouse. And, with that 3,500 gold he had that went back and buy with, he picks up the Brutalizer and a Blade of the Rune King.
That's pretty
His
intense.
potential to 1v1 just skyrocketed right now. And I'm almost 100% sure that he can 1v1 anyone now. Maybe Nasus will get out of the ultimate damage with his own ulti, but he can't survive the sustained damage that Kira can give.
You're absolutely right, and it's going to be basically a question of watching the cooldown of his ultimate. As soon as that death mark is up, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a presence in that mid lane. Oh, wait, sorry, presence from that mid lane. Kira, with one shot, forced a Valkyrie away to safety. You can see just the Shuriken doing a nice chunk of damage to Crimson as he backs away from that one.
Look at that to see discrepancy top lane. 75 to 112. That's
wow.
That's quite a bit. Let's look at overall gold, 4,400 to 37. So, 700 gold difference. Not an insane amount here, but it shows the pace the game has been going. But it seems like things are slowing down just a little bit, though. Kira fancies his chances to go in when his ultimate is up. But let's look at the future. Like, what does this point of the game tell us about what's coming up? So, Tristana is still farming really well. Ridix, he's doing a great job here with 1 kill under his belt. He still looks pretty good throughout the rest of this game here. His mid lane and their top lane combo, the whole wombo combo that they're going for is going to be very questionable here. But right now, a fight breaking out here. Juke Chan going in.
He's going in hard, and he's used his Cataclysm pretty ineffectively. He goes down. Admittedly, it does go to Masterwork. Masterwork low himself. Crimson trying to make something happen, but look at Kira go. Turning his attention towards Lale now. They want to eliminate Orianna from the map, and they do just that as they pick up another 2 down. The third flashing so very low. As Nami was trying to do something, and now Nasus could be in trouble. He's used his claw already. That's a big cooldown used, and one shot has the potential to pursue.
Oh, he's got flash up here, so I think he's going to be able to get away from this one. But if he was in that fight, if he was there, that would have been almost an ace. They would have easily won that fight. So that shows BPI, they're not that far behind considering where everything is at here on the side of Hard Random, and they just need to group up, force these fights in an advantageous position, and they still can win this. And right now, Hard Random, they're looking for the push here on the middle, looking for some turrets. They won't get them just yet.
They are hungry for these turrets. You can see fantastic rotations from BPI. They're making great moves in just maintaining these objectives, keeping them safe. It does feel like BPI is still playing very responsively, basically reacting to what HR throw at them as opposed to kind of making the plays and dictating how the game goes. In contrast to perhaps game 1, where it felt like BPI really were driving the pace of the game, and not the case this time. At the moment, in terms of AD carries, you can see them both in that mid lane. One Shot is slightly behind Ritix in terms of CS. Both of them have a kill apiece. And item-wise, we have the Triforce completed for One Shot and the IE for Ritix. And I don't know who that favors more. I feel like that makes One Shot a lot stronger than the IE does to Tristana, but that remains to be seen in the 1v1s.
You know, Ritix, so it's really kind of like hard to calculate who's going to be stronger right now. But Ritix did level up his drop bead first. He loaded up his Q. I think that's drop bead. Rapid fire wise, drop bead is passive. That's close. His rapid fire, so his attack speed. So, you know, by not going for any sort of attack speed early on, you know, Berserker Greaves, maybe a Zeal, he's kind of worked around that by getting that. So he gets an insane amount of attack speed from that. But then again, when it comes to, you know, pure damage, Corki with his spells and the Trinity Force procs, like he can still put out quite a bit here. So I want to say it slightly favors Corki, but a lucky crit or two, like 2 lucky crits in a row can change the whole pace of that fight.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the AD carry. RNGesus.
It depends what side you're on, if it's a beauty or a thing that annoys you.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And both those mid turrets on equal levels of health, and both teams doing kind of everything within their power to keep them safe and sound. Those really is a battle for objectives at this stage. And talking of objectives, 50 seconds on that Dragon timer. BPI do secure that Scuttle Crab, and that's going to give them the vision they need if HR try and make a move for a Dragon as it spawns.
Yeah, I love how you pointed that out, because that's exactly what it's going to come to here. Who can get that Dragon right now? BPI, they already have one under their belts. And it comes down to, like, who's going to pull off this team fight better? Remember I said before, you know, BPI, their last comp wasn't really based around this, but right now, Riddick's actually getting caught. We'll get back to that moment in just a second. And Riddick's trying to get the knock away, but he's going to get completely bursted down right before Dragon comes up. And that's the downside. Doesn't matter how fit you are on Riddick's. If you can't escape the Zed, then you're going to be out of the game. And that was just a fantastic time for Kira to pull off that 1v1, to get that catch out.
Yeah, you talked about just the power that Zed does possess now after going on his spending spree. Brutalizer, Blade of Ruin King. It's such a strong combination, using that active as you death mark them and just watching their health bar disappear. It's a powerful combination. You're right, eliminating the AD carry as Dragon does spawn should turn the tides and should put HR in the driving seat of this Dragon fight.
They're going to try for it here. Crimson does have flash up though, so he could potentially pull off the steal. Not to mention they have the free ball vision from the Scuttle Crab and the ball out of Lael. Well, here we see Tidal Wave coming. It's a nice knock up. 2,000 health left on the Dragon. They're trying to make something happen. The Q to get interrupted out of Crimson, and he's looking for the turn, but they're actually going for the fight.
Oh, they go for the fight fast and furious. We see already Vi eliminated from the fight and instead turning their attention to just finish off that Dragon. And Crimson getting caught out. They saw an opportunity and they took it. And I say they, I should say Duke-chan. He saw the overextended Vi. He saw Crimson kind of cautiously considering that steal. And Duke-chan made the move, made the decision for his team, and it pays off brilliantly. 1 kill, 1 Dragon, and the gold lead gets ever larger.
And that came from the whole Q out of Demonko. Like, if he didn't knock up Crimson, Crimson could have escaped that easily. But because he saw that, he's like, all right, well, Crimson has no escape. Yeah, he's flash, but he didn't use it. And that's an easy lockdown. Easy kill. And like I said, get a pick Dragon, getting a kill, and that does give them a little bit more of a gold lead. Though, you know, 20 minutes in last game, BPI, I think they were about 8,000 in the lead at this point in the game. But Hard Random really showing that, yeah, they can be down one map here, but they're starting to really build up some steam. And again, that Zed, I'm scared to look at how much gold he has, because I feel like every time I go to it, he's going to have a 2K plus. That look on your face, though, I'm assuming he has a lot.
Yes, he's nearing 7,000. He's got 7,000 in the bank, 6.6 behind him. We have Corki, of course, one-shotting, looking pretty strong in terms of gold. Actually, 7,500. So actually the most gold, most revenue at the moment is actually in the hands of Ritix, who's got 208 CS to his name. Very secure farming there from Ritix. And he's gone pretty unnoticed. I mean, I'm surprised by that. We remember how much we highlighted in game 1 that we were like, they need to sit on Graves. They need to stop Ritix from getting strong. And right now, they're just letting the Tristana, the late-game animal that is Tristana, just farm away. 212 CS. And, I mean, she has more gold than anyone else on this game.
And this is the interesting point of the game, too. You keep in mind, Riddick's, it doesn't matter how much farm, how many kills he has, if he can't escape to Kira. So right now, he's doing a great job. If he continues to farm up like this, like with a stack shift now done, he can afford to build a little bit defensively, get like a QSS to cleanse that blood mark out of Zed, and then he will be fine, or the death mark. But right now, he doesn't have anything to escape. Yeah, he has his rocket leap, but if, you know, Kirov pulls off his combo correctly, that would be a dead Tristana. I do like how you point out, because the farm, I didn't even notice he was that far ahead until you mentioned it. But right now they're going for the engage on his Zed here, and he's getting completely locked down.
This is bad news for Kira, and that's the power of the Vine, Lissandra. So many lockups, knockups, and lockups.
Demonko.
And they're going for more. Demonko's going low, and look at the damage that they can output. This time Crimson picking that one up with the flash to secure it. And as the turret falls, and suddenly It looks like BPI have awoken, they're rubbing the sleep from their eyes, and they are doing damage, making progress, and they're looking for a second turret.
This is free 2 turrets middle and free 2 kills, maybe a third here. Look at the damage Juchan's taking. We talked about those crits, and all it takes is just 2 in a row to really give you a almost guaranteed kill. But this is something I love talking about time and time again. Actually, as Riot gets caught out here, he has to be very careful, gets healed up. Lissandra trying to go in, and they will back away, but you cannot have all your kills stacked on one person. It doesn't matter. Like, this goes also the other side. It doesn't matter how many kills you have. If you're up like 20 kills to 5 and all 20 kills are on one person, if the other team can burst that person down, then there goes the entire lead that you built up on that guy.
Yeah, and they've got these mobile... I mean, I always feel bad describing Lissandra as a mobile assassin, but mobile luck-up like Lissandra, just coming in, you can't stop that. You cannot get rid of that ult. I mean, yes, start building QSS on Zed. It would feel like a bit of a kind of... I mean, he needs to now, though. He's gone straight for his Yamus. That's going to be a huge investment. He's only got 50 gold now to spend, so it's going to take him a while. You can see he's picked up a little bit of MR, a bit of magic resist with that null magic mantle, but it's not really enough to stop what just happened to it.
Right now, Kira, you can see he's being a little more hesitant this time here. The turret will go down. The ultimate going to be used on a Juke-chan. They're going straight for him here. Zed getting completely exhausted up right away, but look at this. He has perfect vision right on the Riggs, who gets the leap. He's trying to go for the 1-4. We're going to stick with this for a little bit. He gets the... No, he doesn't get the kill. Zed's going to just barely escape here. There's a double picked up by Corki, who will be taken down by Orianna, and Kira will secure the kill onto the fish here. So it's a 1-for-3 trade, and you can just see, I mean, without their lockdown... Oh, there's the almost ace coming in. Without the lockdown on the Zed, they kind of fall apart here, and that was just kind of a repercussion of them using everything on Kira in the fight before we saw middle.
Yeah, but that was so very powerful. Kira, yes, he got exhausted, but look at the presence that the rest of his team
no
have.
Point for that to happen.
Just laughs in the face of Leal as he takes that one down for a delayed ace, and his team push right on back and level out that turret to, it's going to be 3 apiece.
There was no reason for him to die there. Like, that turret was dead no matter what. He wasn't going to keep that alive, and that was just a little bit of a fluff there, but oof. Game very back and forth, 24 minutes in, 11-5 here. And just if you guys are joining us, of course, this is the League of Legends Turkey International Invitational. And right now we have BPI up 1-0 here in this best of 3. It's only one best of 3 a day here, as we do have actually the top lane Kira getting caught out. That's a kill. And then tomorrow we'll be bringing you Gamers 2 up against HW. I know it's a little bit kind of choppy right there going between the two things, but that just shows you the pace of this game.
It's constant, isn't it?
This isn't like typical EUS. We're seeing kills left and right, and that's so refreshing and nice to see.
Yeah, and these kills seem so hard fought. Kira, we've seen fantastic moves from him in both Game 1 on Jason. Here in Game 2, he seems to be so very relevant on Zed, except you're right, he gets locked up and he can get completely deleted from the map, and he needs to start building defensive. He has that assassination potential, or, I mean, he had. We saw what happened when he tried to take Ritix. He couldn't counter that knock-up. That ultimate from Tristana just got him straight back out of the fight, and he was forced to go back into defensive mode.
Look at this, QSS picked up now for Zed.
That's it, we said it was going to happen.
That almost eliminates like the lockdown potential here out of BPI.
Yeah, it was so very necessary, of course. I mean, you have either the Vi ultimate, which you can QSS, or the Lissandra ultimate, both of which you can get rid of initially and stop the kind of the rain of pain that can occur.
I'm trying to think if it actually stops at the Vi ultimate.
I'm pretty sure it cancels her mid-move. I remember being like, what just happened? And staring at a Vi.
If it does, that'd be really cool to see. I mean, it'd be such a hard counter to him. But let's see. Right now you can see Hard Random trying to wait for some sort of catch out towards Dragon, which is up at about 5-6 times Smurf. Pushing top lane, has teleport up though, so he's not too worried. Whoa! And Leo getting forced to flash out him in that mid lane, so that will now be down. But Cataclysm, that's a big ultimate now down out of Hard Random.
And a flash. We saw everything.
Oh, he used flash too.
He flag drag flash Cataclysm.
That's
it's a mouthful.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah, I dare. Can't say it once. Now Crimson, it's been turned on him. Juke-chan's making moves once again. Crimson forced to use his gap closer defensively to back away from that one. In the meantime, Smurf just putting a huge amount of damage, forcing the ultimate out of Lissandra just to get away. Nasus is really on the back foot in this top lane matchup. 40 CS between them, and I mean, Smurf, he's picked up a kill as well. 6 assists. He's got a whole lot more gold than the Lissandra.
Oh, but Smurf, he's teleporting away here. He's going to just barely escape this one. We see Master off to the side. Just one sort of bubble would interrupt that, but Dragon picked up now here for Hard Random. Up only 1,400 gold, funny enough. I would have expected it to be so much further, but it all comes down to the one man you see on the screen right now, Ridix. 265 CS, over 10 CS a minute. He's currently 35 ahead of his AD carry. He's almost 100 ahead of his mid laner and his opponent's mid laner. This guy is a beast right now. You're going to see the damage he can do.
What is he trying to do? He hasn't got the support, backed up by 3 as he tried to eliminate one shot. He thinks he's an assassin. I think he thinks he's still on Graves as he tried to take down one shot. Didn't quite happen, but you already see the damage he managed to put out in just the 1 second he was allowed to live.
Yeah, and he got the turret too, so that's a nice little bit of a pickup for him, but it might cost him their top turret right now. You see Orianna, you see Lissandra both backing away to help as quick as they can. Lael now has that Zhonya's done. Nasus has Zhonya's as well as Merla. Nomicon finished up here. And it looks like they will be able to hold him back. As you can see, one-shot, back at his own base, so it's not like he can help with the push. But now, look at these items between these 280 carries. Things are starting to get really close.
Yeah, Triforce, Infinity Edge, and the BF Sword to one-shot's name. It's a whole lot of AD. Of course, we just know the tons of damage that Triforce can provide on its own. And backed up on the other side of things, Tristana, actually, we'll talk about that in a second, as if the Smurf using his Zhonya's to cancel the ultimate from Crimson, then Rift walking away, trying to silence. In fact, he does, he interrupts the charge. Everything is going right for Smurf at this stage. It completely evading that gank, using his kit fantastically as Castin gets away from harm's way.
Really questionable play by BPI there. I mean, the Vi ultimate into a bubble would have been better, but so they bubbled, then Vi ultied, and then it was Zhonya's, and it really didn't matter. I mean, that was a lot committed for someone they couldn't lock down because Lissandra wasn't there just yet. So really questionable. Now Liz one-shot it. Well, he just got one shot. It did on the bottom side. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Get out of position, getting a little too cocky, just as we saw here out of Riddick's just prior here in that top lane. So now, 28 minutes in, guys. Keep in mind, BPI up 1-0 here in this best of 3. Hard random fighting for their tournament lives. And basically all in the back of Kira so far at 6-2-4.
6-2-4, such a powerful scoreline. A powerful Zed as well, as you can see. I mean, yes, you're right. Don't want to put all their eggs in the same basket. But, I mean, I'm mainly intrigued to see what they can do. With the Yamuz and the Blade of Ruin King. I mean, look at that Zed. Yes, he's got the QSS now. Yes, he can evade this Lissandra presence. Yes, he can evade pretty much this lockup that has previously been slowing him down. But Kira, still, he needs to be able to eliminate Rittix. Rittix is that threat. Yes, he's only got 1 kill, but the amount of gold that he's already got, let's see if he's still leading the gold. Yeah, he has 11,000 to his name. And behind him, actually pretty close, his one-shot. He's got 250 CS, but he's also got 4 kills.
He does, and that's why these items are so close between these 280 carries here. And this is honestly a fantastic job by one-shot, who just struggled in that first game. He's feeling a lot more comfortable here on this Corki instead of that Lucian, I'm guessing. Or maybe it's just because Rittix isn't on Graves, he's feeling more comfortable because Rittix constantly punished one-shot before. But we're approaching that point of the game, about 30 minutes in, where things start to get really hairy. Death timers get really long. Dragon buffs mean more and more to your team. BPI, they have 1 compared to the 2 out of hard random. And Baron, it's always a possibility now, especially with the split push potential out of Kira or Smurf, because you're not going to kill, or Zed will 1v1 anyone still.
And you're not going to catch Castin.
And you're not going to catch Castin, who still has so much damage that he could probably 1v1 anyone except maybe Rittix.
I think you're right. I think they've got a much better split pushing potential. Try and say that 5 times fast. As in contrast to perhaps, I mean, yes, Rittix is strong, but we've already seen the issues he can encounter when he's trying to split push. He took a turret and died for it. And, I mean, there's not really that kind of split push presence. Maybe Lissandra can push waves, she can, but I mean,
her combo is so instrumental to their team fight.
Yeah,
that's
so
the problem,
relevant.
right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, she is. Nasus and Vi are the 2 members of BPI that they cannot forego. They cannot lose out. They can't get caught out. Of course, I think Nasus and Crimson both well aware of how important their lives are into the team fight. And we already highlighted before, just even in Champ Select, they were saying BPI, they've got a great team composition if they piece it together correctly. It's a big jigsaw puzzle for their team fight. And it got Shockwave in there. You've got ball delivery system. It's all there. It's all in place. You've even got a Tristana wailing on them from the back. And it needs to all be pieced together correctly. And at the moment, their jigsaw isn't quite complete.
Ooh, this is really brave by Crimson, considering they don't have much vision. Or sorry, wrong button. Any vision on the other side of the map here at Dragon. So he could have went to his depth. He did have flash, but you want to have that flash up for when it comes to these team fights to get in towards Zed, to get in towards Cass and lock someone down. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be in Riddick's shoes, because just imagine how hard it's going to be to stay alive against a Cassin Rift walking to you, against a Jarvan who can Cataclysm on top of you, and Fag and Drag against a Zed who's just all over you. Like, the pressure on your shoulders is so immense, and I wonder if he can stand up to it this time.
It's a huge amount of pressure bearing down on his
shoulders. Oh, Zed mid lane. Gonna get caught up here, gonna get locked down. He's actually flashed over the wall to dodge the shockwave coming out of Riddick's. He's feeling very fancy here. He does have flash, but he's not gonna commit for it. He's gonna back away. And it looks like here, well, he will escape that. But will it cost him anything? And right now, it's actually costing BPI because look at this bottom lane. It's being shoved in.
It's being shoved in, and it's being shoved in fast. Hard Random looking to make a move.
Are they really going for Baron? No, shove middle. Ignore this.
This is interesting. So we're going to see how this trade works out. Hard Random trying to do something to deal with this Baron. They're going all in. Ritic just sitting on the outskirts. In fact, no, he makes his move in. Smurf knows what's going on. It's so very obvious, and Smurf really just have to sit on the sidelines. In the meantime, they're trying to make a move for the inhib. It's going to be a Baron potentially for an inhib. Oh my god, he's done it! He pops the Zhonya. Smurf, can you get out? He does! Rift walks away. The flash is there as well. And a beautiful execution as the inhib falls as well. Hard Random have just slapped BPI in the face.
And they're keeping them there too, not letting them go back to base. They're going to pick up Baron. They're going to pick up the inhibitor bottom side. And that was a big mistake out of BPI. You heard me say it right when they headed for it. Ignore it. Go for the middle inhibitor. Forget the Baron. It doesn't give you the buffs that you need to really do much with it right now, and they end up losing 2 turrets. They lose the inhibitor, and what do they get? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and some shopping has been done. Dragon gets picked up by Hard Random as well, just to rub salt into the wound of the Russians. As you can see, actually some interesting shopping's been done. Janna picking up that Medjai Soul Stealer. It's a pretty strong item, of course. When you're as
So we went from Season 3 in the beginning to Season 4 Worlds.
Season 4 Worlds.
Like,
and it's a really effective item, really strong item, because, of course, when you're dying as often as he is, which is once, Demonco's died once, and he's picked up 10 assists, he's going to start stacking that, getting a lot of cheap AP, and Janna really scales beautifully with AP, both with the amount of healing her ultimate puts out, but also with the amount of damage that she can exert.
And the shield, most importantly,
to
allow the rest of his team to survive. But now, you know, we're looking at potentially a map number 3 between these two teams. There's a about, let's just say 4.5 thousand gold difference between the two. It's still not over just yet, though. But this is where things get really hairy, right? You have Smurf who can split push. You have Kira who can split push. And you already have the bottom inhibitor down. So with them shoving top lane, they're forcing BPI to just come out of their base and meet them here where they really can't, you know, defend. They have to worry with the Nexus turret soon.
They have to, I mean, especially with the inhib down, you're right. The Baron buff enables them to split push just with one man. One man needs to stick with the wave, enhance those minions, and make it even more difficult to clear. And I mean, they're not super minions, but they're Baron minions, and they're pretty terrifying. As you can see, Crimson is on a wave clearing mission alongside Leal.
If they had their second dragon buff, this would be so much easier.
It's true.
Second or fourth now. I forgot.
No,
it's fourth.
HR have 3.
Yeah, it's starting to get
just one
a little rough here.
BPI. And of course that enhanced recall, you can hear Smurf heading on back to base. He does have his TP available if a team fight was to occur, but Duke-chan is just hanging out with Kira in that mid lane. This 3-2 split is enabling them just to apply pressure absolutely everywhere. Nasus is trying to make a move, but the Valkyrie's there. Oh, the ultimate goes in. They're trying to make something happen. The TP's coming in. Smurf's about to make an appearance as already the Zhonya's is used and the Lissandra is shattered as a 3 kills already. Crimson's the only man to really respond, though, taking down Kira, getting that Zed out of the fight, but Crimson's in trouble now. His health bar goes low, super low, as he is put to bed permanently. He falls, so does the turret, and it's a full team ace as Hard Random look to extend this into a third game.
Yeah, GG's already being called out here from BPI, and Hard Random showing that they're the better team here in this map, with Kira getting so damn fed, and that last fight alone just proving a little bit too much for BPI to really sustain. So that means they're all tied up now in this best of 3, and we're going to a map number 3. Well, so at the end of that game, you look at, you know, the scoreline between both teams, you look at who was really instrumental in that game, and you have to really watch out